All right, welcome to Istanbul, Turkey, everyone. It is a little windy here, so I'm hoping that we can stay out of the wind and not have too much disruption of our sound quality. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. If you have not been here before, this is kind of the city center type area, Taksim Square. And so, I mean, it's a huge city. It's like Europe's biggest city, the mega city, the only city on 2 continents, which is super cool. And I'm always quite interested in Istanbul because I'm quite into history and I write some books as well. That's kind of a hobby of mine. And so one of my book series is set in the middle period of the Byzantine Empire. And so at the time, Constantinople was the greatest city in the world. And so hence it was a area that I studied lots, and it's quite interesting. Although I was quite disappointed the first time I visited Istanbul, since it is not the greatest city in the world today. Although there's lots to appreciate about it, including like a super hospitable culture. I think probably the Turkish hospitality culture is, in my view, the best hospitality culture out there. Maybe they're really hospitable, really wonderful. And there's a lot of great food as well. Plus, it's pretty affordable. Although the Turkish real estate has gone up, from the data I've seen, the most of any market in the world in the last little while. So that's fun. Anyway, we're going to dive in today, and we're going to discuss quickly the recent changes to the Portuguese crypto tax. That is to say, the new Portuguese crypto tax. I had some people I was seeing elsewhere who were saying, "Oh, they're not going to bring in a tax." No, they shut down this other proposal. I stated repeatedly that they would likely bring one in. It just made sense. And that with the proposal that was shut down before was from the minority party, and so that was not such a surprise. Well, now they have presented something new, and so I'm going to explain to you what it is. It's actually maybe slightly better than what I might have expected. We'll see. It's not 100% yet, but probably pretty likely. And so we're going to talk about that right now. Before we do, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the all notification bell, that little button down there, so you don't miss out on any of our videos. If you are interested in the things that we talk about here, which is international tax optimization, relocating abroad, setting up companies, getting residencies, citizenships, all these types of things of internationalization and becoming a global citizen and having a plan B and diversifying yourself in this new world that we live in, we're happy to help you. You can reach out to us through, you can book a call with me in calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer. There's a link in the description below, or you can send a message through offshorecitizen.net, and we're happy to talk to you there. Anyway, let's dive in. So, Portugal has been one of the most popular places in the world over the last little while for people to relocate to. Largely, a lot of people were relocating there, I think, for 3 key reasons that were really attractive. One was they weren't taxing gains from cryptos. That's really great for people who are making money in there. Obviously, not so much money made in the last 10 months or so in the space, but certainly for a long time there was a lot being made. Went from less than $1 trillion to about a $3 trillion market cap. So it was a lot of net worth that was added to a lot of people. And so this was very attractive for people wanting to be able to cash out. Second of all, they have the golden visa and an easy path to EU citizenship relative to a lot of other places. So for people wanting to get into the EU, that was very attractive. And then third, they have the NHR, which is a weird tax scheme. I say weird because it's kind of got a lot of different pieces to it, and for the right people it can be tax friendly. For the wrong people it's not. I've done some calls with people over the last week who were kind of looking at it and going, ooh, not exactly great in my situation, which is the case. I've done some videos on how, depending on where you are, it could be anywhere from 0 tax to really bad 48% tax and so on and so forth. So not necessarily the best for everyone. But this being said, good for the right people, and I think also people really love the quality of life there. I've filmed some videos from there in the past, and there's a lot to love. I mean, the weather is good. There's plenty to appreciate about Portugal, about Lisbon, Porto, the coast, Madeira, etc. So they've now decided that they're going to tax crypto. This was coming for a while. They've been talking about it. Our contacts who are connected to the government, etc., have been saying for I don't know, a year or so that this would be coming. And now we have a pretty good idea of what it's likely to be, which is more or less what I said it would be. So they tax capital gains in Portugal for sale of shares, things like that, at 28%. And so what they basically said is they've said we're going to tax crypto at 28% for short-term holds. So this is slightly better than I would have expected, because I would have expected they would tax it regardless. Here they're saying if you hold for over a year, then you wouldn't be taxed on it. But if you hold for less than a year, then you're going to pay 28% tax. So, I mean, slightly better than one might expect. If you're at least a long-term holder, this still makes it attractive for you, and I think they're trying not to kill their market. Their statement was that they feel this is in line with a lot of the rest of Europe, for example, in Germany, where you can do long-term holds and get favorable tax treatment, etc. And so I guess it's not altogether unsurprising, but definitely something that is going to be bad for people who are interested in, being able to take quick profits. Obviously, one of the things is when you're in a market that's highly volatile and things pump a lot really fast, you may want to take profits. And here you will have to be committed to the long term if you want the lower taxes and be able to go accordingly. Now, the thing I would warn people about in that regard in general is, some people will try and plan their investing around their taxes. I think this is always a bad idea. You should plan for the best investments and then figure out how to optimize the tax. And the consequence of this, in this particular case, is imagine that you had said, okay, well, it's the end of 2021 and I'm sitting on a lot of gains, but I bought in 6 months ago, so I'm going to wait 6 months to sell. Well, you could be down 80% and it would have been better off just to pay the 28% tax on the gains, right? So obviously, at the time you could sell tax-free in Portugal, so it wasn't a big deal. But I think this is just a generally good piece of advice for people, is to make tax planning secondary to good investing decisions. This also, I think, is going to result in a lot more attractiveness of places like Dubai, where I live, most of the year. And so, that was another place that was really, really popular. We've talked about lots of other places on this channel that you can go to. And so if you're interested in places where you can optimize for tax or for investing of other types or for your business, etc., please reach out to us. And I hope this was helpful. Let me know your comments in the comment below, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next video.